Hello, I'm Nick, the co-founder of VisiLocali. Let me tell you a little bit about VisiLocali. So in a nutshell, it is a local SEO platform. And the idea here is that it guides you on exactly what you need to do to improve your Google business profile. It's not like most tools that just kind of dump data on you. The idea here is that we dump that data and then we use all that data to help you make the right actions to improve your profile. So it's a little bit like an agency that's kind of doing it for you in terms of all the thinking and the expertise behind it, and then you've just got to implement it. So without further ado, I will show you how this tool works and show you some really, really cool features of it. On this kind of page, you can see we're on the dashboard, and this is the first page you'll see once you've signed up, whatever account that you signed up to. At the moment, I've got lots of data here simply because I've populated it with data for demonstration purposes. So I'll explain some of this and explain how we use it. So the first part here is the performance. This is just showing you, based on all the GeoGrid scans, where is your business performing across all your keywords, all your target keywords. In this case, we can see that 73% of their keywords are in the first three positions and 44.6% are in the first position. Of course, this is the goal. We want as many as we can up here. Now we can see that it's not perfect. We've got some work to do because they're not all there. Exactly what you've got to do is where our analyzers come in and they guide you and they tell you. Now, if we go down a step further, we can see objectives. These objectives are based on your profile data, and they're also based on your competitors. So what we do is we combine both your profile data and your competitors' data, and we do some calculations to work out the objectives. They're always going to be changing depending on the keywords that your primary keyword is and who your competitors are at that given time when you run that scan. If you haven't got any scan data, you're not going to be able to get the objective. So you've got to get some scan data, run some analyzer tests, and then you'll be formulated with these objectives, which are your kind of your gold standard of things that you need to be working towards. To the right-hand side, you've got tasks. These are defined by two things. One is defined by, have you got things on your profile, i.e. are they missing? If it's missing, you'll be indicated to complete it. And other tasks are based on the data that we get from the analyzers. Whether you go through them all one by one is completely up to you, but we have them in some kind of an order that we feel is best for you. Further down, you've got some data which is telling you, based on your profile, what keywords are performing well and which ones aren't doing so well. On the left-hand side, you've got declining keywords, so these ones might be requiring your attention. And on the right-hand side, improving keywords, these ones deserve a pat on the back for. A little bit further down, you've got a grid, and this is your GeoGrid. If this is the first time you're seeing something like this, in a nutshell, each circle represents a potential searcher for that particular keyword. In this case, mobile tyre fit in Birmingham. If a potential customer is in this area here and they search for mobile tyre fit in Birmingham, your business profile is likely to be appearing in position 18. That's what that's suggesting. So the idea being is you want this to be as strong as possible, i.e. top three positions, ideally position 1. Over time, using VisiLocali, you should see that increase. Of course, it also depends on lots of other factors at play. Now, you can change your keywords here, or you can look back at previous history. If you go over to keywords, you're going to see this exact same performance table, but more importantly, you're going to see a table with the breakdown of your keywords. There are lots of different ways you can filter this, but on the left-hand side, you've got all your keywords, and you can filter by average. So this is going to tell you which keyword is strongest to least strongest, or you can flip it. So you've got the least strongest keyword, and it also highlights your primary keyword. This is your most important keyword that you're really targeting, you're really focusing on at the moment. You can change it, and you just simply slide over here, and you just select whichever one you want to be using. Now, how do we use this kind of table? Well, you can work with the average, because that tells you which keywords aren't doing so well. So maybe these are some keywords you need to run in the analyzers to see what the results are and what changes you could be making. Another way you could be doing it is looking by your top 3. So which ones are in the top position and which ones not so well. So it looks like this one here, mobile tyre fitting. Again, with the average, it's not always the case. This might be the one that you want to be working on. You might want to flip it a different way and start working on the 6th to 10th and try and bump these ones up a little bit more. So that's how you can use this. Now you'll see that some keywords have volume and others don't. With VisiLocali, we are not forcing you to pay a higher subscription in order to access search data volume. If you want that data, you can use your credits to access it. But generally, you're going to know this data because if you use Google Ads or you use another tool, maybe that supplies the data and you don't need to see that data again. So why should we charge you for it if you've already got it anyway? That's our philosophy. Pay for it if you need it. Now, if you click onto one of your keywords, you can see the history of your positioning. So you can scroll down and you can see back here, the positioning was really good. But if you look really carefully, you can see the radius has changed. So naturally, the position has declined as the area has widened. But the history is here, and you can then just compare over time what has happened to the performance of this profile. And then if you click into one of these pins, you can see your competitors. Now, this is really, really useful if you want to go and manually compare against what each of your competitors are doing. But if you want to save time, use the analyzers and it will do it all for you. But this is just a really useful way to kind of go, well, yeah, I can see that they're here. So I'm just going to go check on their website, see what they're saying, see what they're doing, so on and so forth. You can do that for all of your keywords. If you want to run a scan, because let's say your calls are really, really quiet today and you need to know what's going on, select one of your keywords, simply configure the scan, which might be, okay, do it local, really, really close by, a little bit further on the standard, do a smart grid, which is probably one of my favorite because you can get some other areas if you want to, or you can do kind of the best preferred option, which is if you know exactly what you're doing, you can select your grid, change your area, or just type it in here. I'll give you an example, for instance. So you can see that this keyword is Birmingham, but let's say, for example, this business was also targeting another keyword like Dudley, for instance. So you can go select over here, and because Dudley is very densely populated, you wouldn't want the grid like this. Instead, what you'd want to do is you'd want to control it and bring it right down to as close as you can get it that's most relevant. So what this is doing is it's going, well, if your business is not based there, but you want to see what the performance is like in that area, then you can drag the center point of your scan there. And by doing that, you're going to get the most accurate results for your business, as opposed to going to your business location, which is down here, and then increasing the scan size like this, and then using that keyword mobile tire fitting Dudley. You're going to get results way down here in Solihull, for instance, and it's not going to be relevant because somebody down here is not going to be searching mobile tire fitting Dudley. They're way too far. So it's just a really good way to get the most accurate result possible. I will just pick one of these ones. I'm going to add that new keyword. So let's just say, for example, we're going to go with mobile tire fitting Dudley. I have no idea what the performance is going to be like. That is the point of doing this. So I've done that. And then, of course, I will make sure that I select it. There it is. And I'm going to go select that area. Where is Dudley? Where is it on this map? So if I can't find it, I'm going to search it here. Once you've searched it, it just saves you time. You can see it's on the send scan. Now, I've got a smart grid. I wouldn't say in this case it's the best one to be using because I don't want to have it down here. And also, I don't want to use my credits, right? Do I also want to say standard? Not so much, simply because it's covering too much. So I'm going to go with the advanced one. And I'm just going to bring my area right down like this. And then I'm going to run the scan. Depending on how many scans we're running, the timing is going to be different. It can be as quick as a few seconds. But if we've got lots of users doing it at the same time, of course, it's going to be a little bit longer. It's not usually too long. Now, the results, of course, will be populated for this keyword that we're running, and we can see the competitors for that exact keyword when we click on each of those pins. Okay, you can see the results have populated, and in this case, the business really isn't doing too well in this area. They're in a dire position of 20 plus, and if you zoom in by clicking on the pin, you can then start to see who are their competitors. And in this case, if you know exactly what you're doing, you're going to go, well, probably it's because they're based in Dudley, and that is the reason why they're in that position. But if you're not familiar with why, what you can do is you can run over to the analyzers, you can go here, you can go to either the profile, the review, or the post. Now, generally, you're going to use the profile analyzer if you're kind of looking at your positionings from a granular kind of summary snapshot. But if you're like really focusing on a primary keyword, for instance, then you start to look at your reviews and your posts because you need that additional information. But let's go with the profile analyzer. We will then select that keyword, mobile tire fitting Dudley. Because we are not performing very well, what we can see is we've got 3 competitors that are appearing. Each of these 3 competitors have got different percentages. Now, this is telling us that this competitor is in the top 3 88% of the time. This one 60 and this one 28. So what does it mean? Well, it means the top one is the most competitive competitor, so we need to kind of be doing what they're doing, followed by the second one. So let's run a scan for all 3 so we get the most accurate data covering 3 different competitors. Okay, the results have now populated, and as you can see, we've got different features of the Google Business Profile that are presented to us. And it's now down to us to review each of these different features to determine what should we be doing in order to improve our presence for this particular keyword in that particular area. Now, I'm going to zoom down to one particular section, the business address, and I'm going to click review. I'm going to compare the current business profile that I'm working on against the competitors for that area. Now, what we can see just on glance, that the address we've got here is Harborne in Birmingham, and then of course the competitor here has got Dudley with a very similar postcode to each other here as is this one, so I'll assume that this is also in Dudley. What we should then do is run the AI insights, because what this will tell us is more information on what we need to be doing in order to improve our presence in that area solely based on the business address. If we look at the key insights, it gives us the information here. So we can see that the physical address is 5.5 miles away from the target location. It's suggesting that somewhat they're quite close, maybe closer than their competitors. Now, this puts MMC at a disadvantage for this keyword because they are further apart than their competitors. If we then go to different aspects, it says that the Google Business Profile description, it states West Midlands, including these areas, but it doesn't mention Dudley. So maybe you need to go and add that in your description. And then if you go further down, it's highlighting that the competitors are actually using an exact match keyword for their area, suggesting that they're really focusing on that, and Google isn't seeming to do anything about it. If you look at the recommended actions, because this is really where you're going to get a lot of the insight from, it's telling us some things that you could be doing. So it's suggesting to explicitly include Dudley in the service areas so that it signals relevance for that particular keyword. Now, that's probably not being done, hence why the performance is so poor. So there's one thing that you could be doing in order to improve that position. The next action is to create a location-specific content on the website, such as a dedicated mobile tire fitting Dudley page that highlights its service to Dudley, including local landmarks and common service scenarios in that area as well. So there's a second thing that you could be doing. The third option is it's suggesting to opportunities for a virtual office or co-working space with a physical address in that area to establish a local presence, if feasible, and compliant with Google guidelines. So what it's suggesting here is that you could be doing this if it's completely relevant to your business and you can have a person there servicing that address. It's really important that when you make a change that is linked to something that's specified like this, Google guideline, you need to double check, particularly in the task section, which we can show you. The fourth section here is suggesting to, if you've got any customers that have been in that area and you've serviced them, is to try and get them to leave you a review and potentially mention, if they can, the area that you service them. That is going to give Google the signal that you service that area. So there are 4 actions that you can be implementing, 2 of which are going to be super easy, some of course more challenging. That is how you would use this tool. It gives you some other things as well, like we can look at all these different features, all these different things, and of course we could be working out, like if we're looking at the photo count, probably not a good idea to run the AI insights because you can clearly see here, well, you're doing really well with the photos. Maybe this isn't thing that you should be working on for this particular keyword. So it requires a little bit of judgment. And of course, if you're not sure, you can always run the AI insights and it just tells you exactly what it is. So let's say you've got to make some changes, right? So you need to include Dudley in the service area. Now, what you can do is you can go to your the business profile section, and when it populates everything you need to have access to in order to edit your profile. Now, this is the same thing as if you went onto Google and you just typed in your business name and was able to edit it. Instead, it's all in one place, making it super, super easy and fast for you to do it. Straight away, you can see a quick checklist, an audit telling you what things have been done, what things haven't been done. Not all of them are going to be relevant, like menu link, for instance, so a little bit of common sense is required. But further down, you've got the profile section. So you can click edit and you can simply edit whatever it is that you need to edit. Just be clear though, this isn't optimizing directly. So if you notice that we went to the analyzers, we got some result, it suggested to us to add Dudley in the service area. If we go here, we can see that, oh yeah, look, Dudley is in the service area. So maybe this isn't one that we need to be actioning, okay? So a little bit further down, we can see that there are some other things that we could be working on or any things that we need to change. Let's have a look at some other features within the section. So you can see that there are no products that have been added here, and you can, of course, start to edit them. At the moment, though, we can't edit them directly, so there are certain things you have to go back to the profile. This is across the board, but in due course, certain things like this will be incorporated. So that's the profile itself, and of course, you can look at all your reviews, and you can get the stats on when your reviews last came through. And if you look here, you can do some AI reviews. Very, very simply, it will read your review and then it will write a complete response to it, literally in seconds, saving you a huge amount of time. Click submit and it's done. Once you click submit, it goes straight to your live profile and the customer sees that response. There we go. It gives you a reply rate when your last review was. And now, of course, you can always sync it because 35 days is quite a long time for this business. So they just need to be synced so that they can get the latest results. But for the benefit of time, I'm just going to continue going through here. You can see some posts, all the data linked to the post. It tells you very, very shortly how often you're posting, when it was the last post based on that last sync, what CTAs are being used in those last posts, and when, in terms of timings, those posts have been published. Really, really useful, because if you want to know why you're not getting so many calls in the morning, potentially it's because you're not actively posting in the morning. Of course, that's one feature. It might be your opening hours have another impact there. But this is just another way to demonstrate to Google, okay, well, if you're really active in the morning, they might boost your profile for that time. It can also help with the conversions, because if they can see that you're posting, like users can see you're posting at that time, they might be more inclined to call you. You can create a post here. You can generate a post with AI as well. This is going to be continuously developed, so it may not look exactly the same as you when you're signing up to this. You can schedule your posts too, and of course, see all your past. You can protect your profile simply by enabling the protection on, so you get immediate notifications when a change has been made. And of course, you can see the statistics linked to your profile. The more you refresh it, the more statistics you're going to see. You can change all the date time ranges that you're looking back, so you can see what the changes over time as you're improving your profile. When it comes to analyzers, I've already demonstrated the profile analyzer, but of course you can run an analyzer for the reviews and the posts. The exact same process as we did for the profile, you do the same for the review. So you can click on the review analyzer, select any keyword, select your competitor that you want to run for, and you're going to see the results and you can start making changes. What I recommend is, though, you really only run the review analyzers and the post analyzers for your primary keyword. That is the keyword that you really want to be performing for. If you go to tasks, this will give you all the tasks that we are giving you, that we are suggesting that you need to check and that you need to implement. So you can just simply click into them, and what it does is it provides you with information from some recent scans that you've done. So in this case, for instance, it suggests to optimize your business description, and we can see here that here's the current data, And what we've got here is what the competitors have got and some ideas on what you need to be including. So if you can see the excerpt here of what's being said, it gives you an idea. Are you saying something similar? For instance, it gives you an idea on what you should be saying, and it gives you your full description, and you can change based on what this data is all providing you some information that you can do to improve your description. Now, of course, that's just one example of many other different things, many other tasks that you've got. But if you ask me what my favorite features are, it's definitely in the analyzers. And when you get the results like this, and you simply open them up like this, and you click on them, and then you run the AI insights, because it's based on all your profile data, it gives you the most accurate piece of information for you. And you can just start looking at all of this to make the right improvements to your profile. What we've offered all of our users is lots of free tools that they can use, such as geotagging images, lots of data. In the industry suggesting that adding GPS data to your images isn't effective for Google Business Profile directly, but if you upload it to your website, it does have an impact on your Google Business Profile. So it's a massive, massive thing to be doing, unless you're using a feature on your website that strips it. Lossless compression for speed. Compression for speed is really, really important. Lots of other features as well to use. So have a play with it. I'm not going to go through them all. If you need to contact us at any kind of for any reason, just click contact and just complete this form that is on this page, and we will help you as quickly as possible. We look forward to having you as a member of VisiLocali, and we wish you all the best of improving your business's performance.